Picture a world where everything you believed in was suddenly taken away, where the very concept of purpose and meaning ceased to exist. Would life still be worth living? Join me on a journey to explore these thought provoking questions and discover how we can find meaning in a seemingly meaningless world. Tackle this question, we explored the philosophy of absurdism, which states that there is a discrepancy between the human impulse to ask ultimate questions and the impossibility of finding adequate answers. This idea is what existential philosopher Camus called the absurd. The absurd often drives people into escapism, and some find their meaning in religion that offers them not only the purpose of life, but also the origins of the universe, divine rules of conduct, and the possibility of reward in the afterlife. But others refuse to take the leap of faith and experience the subsequent void of pointlessness so unbearably that they decide to make away with themselves, thus suicide. To Albert Camus, a French philosopher, a meaningless life is worth living if we remain aware of the absurd contradictions between the human craving for ultimate meaning and the universal negligence in providing one. To flourish in the face of this absurdity, we have to become absurd ourselves. We first encountered the protagonist of Camus Novo, the stranger, Marsault. Marsault is a man who is indifferent to the world around him and doesn't see the point in anything. He is accused of murder and sentenced to death, but he remains calm and indifferent throughout the trial. Marsault's story represents the absurdity of human existence and the idea that life has no inherent meaning. Next, we meet the character of Mary Cardona from The Stranger, who is Marsault's girlfriend. Mary represents the seducer who tries to find meaning in love and physical pleasure. She believes in the beauty of life and tries to enjoy every moment of it, but she is ultimately unable to find the meaning she is looking for in her relationship with Marsault. Moving on, we encounter the character of Camus from The Fall, who represents the actor. Camus is a former judge who lives in Amsterdam and spends his days drinking and socializing with other expatriates. He has a deep-seated guilt that he tries to hide from others, but he eventually realizes that he cannot escape his past. Camus' story represents the idea that people often play a role in life and try to create meaning through their actions, but ultimately they cannot escape the absurdity of their existence. We then meet the character of Caligula from Camus' play of the same name, who represents the conqueror. Caligula is the emperor of Rome and has absolute power, but he is unable to find meaning in his life. He becomes increasingly tyrannical and tries to create meaning through his actions, but he ultimately realizes that he cannot escape the absurdity of existence. As we continue on our journey, we encounter new challenges and obstacles that test our understanding of the absurd. We meet new characters who represent different aspects of the human experience and provide us with insights into the nature of existence. We come across the character of Mons from Alan Fournier's La Grande Mons, who represents the seeker. Mons is a young man who is searching for a lost love and a sense of purpose in life. He embarks on a journey that takes him through various adventures and experiences. But he ultimately realizes that the object of his search is unattainable, and that the true meaning of life lies in the journey itself. Next, we meet the character of Ryu from Camus the Plague, who represents the healer. Ryu is a doctor who is struggling to contain a deadly epidemic that has taken over his city. He is confronted with the reality of death and the suffering of others, but he continues to work tirelessly to save life and alleviate pain. Ryu's story represents the idea that meaning can be found in service to others and in the struggle against suffering. Moving on, we encounter the character of Ivan Karamazov from Dostoevsky's The Brothers Karamazov. Ivan is a man who is deeply skeptical of religious and moral authority and questions the existence of God and the possibility of objective meaning. He engaged in philosophical debates with his brother, Alyosha, who represents faith, and ultimately realized that his skepticism has led him to a place of despair and meaninglessness. Finally, we meet the character of Siddhartha from Hermann Hesse's Siddhartha, who represents the seeker of enlightenment. Siddhartha is a young man who is searching for spiritual fulfillment and enlightenment. He embarks on a journey that takes him through various spiritual experiences and encounters with different teachers, but he ultimately realizes that true enlightenment comes from within and cannot be found through external means. These all characters represents different paths to find meaning in life. Maul represents the romantic and adventurous path. Ryu represents the path of service and sacrifice. Ivan represents the path of skepticism and doubt. And Siddhartha represents the path of spiritual seeking and enlightenment. In conclusion, the philosophy of absurdism encourages us to live fully in the present moment, to accept our morality, to the impermanence of all things, and to recognize the value and the dignity of every human being. Our journey has shown us that meaning can be found in many different ways, and that it is up to each one of us to discover our own path to understanding and acceptance of the absurd. So let us embrace the mystery and beauty of life, and let us live with purpose and passion in the face of the absurd.